Hello and welcome to another new episode of Learning Simplified. Today in this tutorial we are going to solve a riddle that we left earlier in our previous tutorial of adding jQuery to the button, on clicking which there will be a smooth scroll animation to the top of the page. We had a question at the end of the tutorial that why this button is still visible while it is supposed to stay hidden at the time of page loading or at the time when the page is on the topmost position of the browser, and then it is supposed to resurface again as it seems to be here. Now if we just reload this page in this particular case, we can see that from the beginning this button is still in visibility. But this is what is the main reason of conflict, and we can see that if we scroll down the page, it first disappears and then it resurfaces again, and at the end of the page on reaching the top it is now getting invisible. And if we come down again, it is now acting properly as we can see over here. But if we reload the page, we can see that this button is back in its position and it is being visible. So this is the main trouble that we left behind in our previous tutorial, in a hope that you will solve the problem and you will communicate with us with the solution. However, so let's proceed. How to solve this problem that we are facing right now. So if we come back to our index.html, we can see that this is the script source, but this is not the place where this rectification should be made, then where it should have been conducted. This is practically not a problem in case of the script tag that we have used, or all this scripting code, all those jQuery that we have used. No, the problem is not here. The problem is somewhere else, and this is practically not the problem. We are just missing a CSS customization. Yes, a very normal CSS customization that needed to be mentioned in its first place. So we are getting back to custom style sheet, and here into this scroll top position, the only thing that we are going to add is display none. Now if we press Ctrl S and get back to our project and reload, now we can see that the button is gone, the button is disappeared. We are residing on the top of this page. Now if we scroll down, we can see that the button is resurfacing again. We may come to the end of the page, we may click here, and we can see that on reaching the top position of this page, the button is disappeared again. Reload, and you can see that the same result will be active in this particular case. So this is the only amendment that we need to make. We need to add this particular CSS property here, display none, to the scroll top class that was used to introduce this button. Hopefully this is the part that we have left untouched in our previous tutorial, and this is the part that we have discussed over here. And another thing, if we get back to our project and if we press Ctrl Shift M, now let's check on what are the changes that we have made so far and whether it is a Bootstrap responsive according to the responsiveness of template. And we can see that no horizontal line is present here so far. Let's change it, or you may rotate it for 480 pixels. We can see that still it is working well, and let's make it 640 pixels, and we can see that still it is working well. There's absolutely no problem with the Bootstrap responsiveness, and make it now 767 pixels. Enter. Still now it is working well. There's absolutely no problem. Everything is in order. Make it 768 pixels. And we can see that now there is a little bit of problem. Let's change the height to 1024. There it goes. And we can see that there is a little bit of problem. This image and this text, it is now getting a little bit of juggling over each other. So this is the thing that you need to rectify. All you need to do, you need to make some more experiments with the @media query. You need to assign more properties or attributes to all those parts, such as they look well, they quite fit into our device. All you need to do, you need to make much more experiments with it. Let's get down and we can see that the rest of the things, those are quite okay, but the only place where it is now getting a disrupted preview is this header part. So what you can do over here, you can just reduce this font size over here, or you may discard this background image which is present over here. So these are the experiments that you need to make. A thing I must mention while designing a Bootstrap responsive or a kind of responsive web design, always you need to make some more experiments with your contents. You need to make more @media queries to fit those things into your device with. So that's it for today's tutorial. Hope you guys have liked this tutorial. If you guys have liked this tutorial, then do not hesitate to hit that red subscribe button down below. Hope to see you guys in our next tutorial. Till then, bye.